Welcome to Books Without Borders. Today we're going to be reviewing Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus by Dr. John Gray. Love is magical. It can last if we remember our differences. John Gray. This book's aim is to help you improve your relationship by identifying the key differences between men and women. Originally published in 1992, the book aims to improve relationships between men and women by recognizing how different they are. Though initially met with critical acclaim, the book has lost popularity due to what's called its sexist content, gender boundaries, and worldview. Despite Gray's best-known work, he has published many other books about relationship advice. His credentials include membership in both the American Counseling Association and the International Association of Marriage and Family Counselors. Relationships today are a challenge for almost everyone due to increasing stress at work and high expectations at home. According to Dr. Gray, learning your partner's perspective will help you get along better in your relationships. He states, and I quote, "If you are seeking to use these insights to respect others in the ways that are important to them, this book can work for you." In his book, Dr. John Gray says that the key to a happy and healthy romantic relationship is understanding gender differences, which in turn means recognizing that men and women think so differently that they might as well be from different planets. Various emotional needs of men and women must be met by both partners if they are to have harmony in their relationship. It is important for a woman to discuss issues with her partner when she has a problem. When men have problems, they prefer time alone and do not want to be pressured to talk about their feelings right away. If a man isn't aware that his female partner wants him to validate her feelings, and if she doesn't understand why he requires space, he might end up feeling unloved, even though his partner is trying to understand, not criticize or pressure him. The same is true for men, who often show affection by doing something for their partners rather than simply saying how much they love them. Women may feel their partners are being unreasonable when they demand emotional reassurance, in addition to material help from them, despite the fact that women typically need both types of support. By recognizing gender differences, people can support and love their partners more effectively. Relationships will undergo a profound transformation when you adjust to it, but the results will be profound in the long run. Published in 1992, as mentioned, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus has been a bestseller since its release. Sometimes it does feel like men and women come from two different planets. I want you to imagine that's true just for a second. This perspective makes it easier to understand why men and women communicate differently, behave differently, and have different emotional needs. In this book, we find solutions for ensuring proper communication with our significant others. A conscious effort must be made by both men and women to understand their differences, even if that means acting in ways that are not naturally inclined for them. Understanding your partner's perspective will strengthen your relationship. And a healthy, stable relationship can only be sustained over time if we look at things through the perspective of the other sex. John Gray's book breaks down the most important differences between men and women, giving readers comprehensive advice on how to resolve miscommunications, show your support to your partner in the way they crave, and be more fulfilled in relationships. If you want to find out why your husband will pull away from you just when you need him most, or why your wife will talk endlessly about her feelings, then this book is for you. I have to admit, before I read a book, I take a look at the most recent reviews. I noticed a pattern with this book. A lot of people were saying that this book is extremely sexist towards women. After reading it, I didn't find that at all. I felt Dr. Gray was simply saying that men and women have their differences. I think it's the way readers interpret it. For example, if Dr. Gray says, "Women prefer to talk and men prefer to offer solutions," some readers can interpret this as the author having a go at women. I didn't feel like that at all. It's simply saying men and women are programmed differently. Overall, this critique is really down to your interpretation, I find. In many ways, the first few chapters functioned as an extended introduction to what to expect in the book. Then the real fun began. I found the chapters were easy to read. It is written in simple language that anybody can understand. And having read this book, I know that us women are complex beings, especially when it comes to our thinking. But then the author made me realise that men are actually complex too. The book is divided between men and women equally. For me, it never favoured one gender over another. It gives equal priority to both sexes. There are a few real-life cases in the book, so it's much easier to understand. The author has given some examples from his life too to explain the points. There was one drawback I noticed. The author kept repeating the same points over and over again. I'm not sure how many points exactly he got to explain. However, throughout the book, he kept going back to the same point that he explained previously. Repetition was a major drawback for me. The book would have been done long before its actual conclusion if he had cut out those repetitions. My favourite quote: "When men and women are able to respect and accept their differences, then love has a chance to blossom." John Gray. Here are my 3 takeaways from the book. Number 1. The same words have different meanings for men and women. Number 2. Listening to a woman is what women want, but finding solutions to their problems is what men want to do. And finally, number 3. The motivation of men comes from feeling useful. The inspiration of women comes from feeling loved. In general, men tend to feel motivated when they are needed, whereas women tend to feel motivated when they are cherished. An unwilling partner may be unwilling to communicate because the other partner approached him or her at the wrong time or in the wrong way. Men should approach women when they are ready to speak, so they can feel heard and understood. It's best not to approach men when their mood isn't right. They need time and space to refuel. Women must be able to distinguish between expressing their feelings and being needy. Rather than blaming him for her frustration, she should encourage him to listen. For a man, it's important to realise that he can give love, whereas a woman, it's crucial to understand that she's worthy of receiving it. The safety of both partners is necessary to prevent old hurts from coming out during intimate conversations. A person must feel all the feelings associated with an emotional hurt if they want to get over it. Another one of the lessons I took away from this book was to interpret situations more accurately and then to adjust our actions and responses accordingly to start getting more of what we want. This was my favourite example. When a man is distant, rather than assuming he is not interested in her or imagining that he is mad at her, a woman can instead realise that he is just recuperating from a stressful day. With this insight, she is free from worry and knows to give him space in his cave, and eventually he will come out. Or when a woman is talking about the problems of her day, rather than assuming she is looking for solutions, giving solutions, a man can instead recognise that she is just needing to talk about her day, and as a result she will feel better. With this insight, he is free to relax and listen without trying to interrupt with solutions. As in both of these examples, when we know what is really happening and what is required, relationships become so much easier. This was another quote I loved by John Gray. "Treat her the way you did at the beginning of the relationship." There are important differences between how men and women think, act, and communicate. Hence, it is a good guide, but don't take it as the absolute truth. Since we are all unique, these patterns are not applicable to us all. Despite this, the book offers solid examples and aha moments in your quest to figure out the opposite gender. Gender Insights helps us to be more tolerant and forgiving when someone doesn't respond the way we think he or she should. The main thing I'm taking away from this book is that men and women are different, and in order to have a successful long-term relationship, we need to accept and embrace the differences. I will leave you with 2 quotes from Dr. John Gray himself explaining exactly that. Men need to remember that when women seem upset and talk about problems is not the time to offer solutions. Instead, she needs to be heard. Gradually, she will feel better on her own. And men mistakenly expect women to think, communicate, and react the way men do. Women mistakenly expect men to feel, communicate, and respond the way women do. If you've liked this video, why not visit our channel, where you can find a number of different reviews across different titles. Thank you for watching.